Hey everybody, my name is Lieutenant Josh Hale. I'm with the Richmond Police Department. We are here in the WBON TV studios. This is our monthly episode of Beyond the Call. We are happy to have you with us here today. With me today, I've got some people from Youth in Action. I've got the director, Jennifer Webb, and then I've got Abby Sheffer. How are you all?
We're doing good. We're glad that it's Friday.
We are too. It's been a fairly busy week, but we are glad you're here with us. For those of you that don't know, this is actually one of the first times that we've gone live on Facebook. So we hope that you'll be joining us today as we do this. And I know Abby's probably a little bit nervous as we're sitting here going live to the world, but that's okay. We'll get through it. We're having a good time today here at the studio. This program is something that we do for the police department. It's like I said, it's a monthly program that we do, and we talk about things that concern our community, things that we have going on in the police department, or sometimes in politics. We don't do that too much, but we do tend to tackle a lot of the current issues. We've talked about things like drugs and alcohol and different things. So that's part of the reason we've got our guest here today. So without further ado, I'm going to let them kind of introduce themselves, and then we'll kind of get forward with the interview. So Jennifer, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Jennifer Webb, and I started Madison County Youth in Action 12 years ago.
Has it been that long?
It has been that long. It has been that long. I was working in the courts, as you know. That's where we met. And I just kind of saw this revolving door of families that they would start out with alcohol issues. The kids would start out with alcohol issues, and they would progress into drug issues. And then these kids would just be in trouble all the time. So I wanted to do something about it. So I started Madison County Youth in Action. It's an underage drinking prevention group. And we also are underage drug prevention as well. And basically I just recruit student volunteers, and it's a way for us to use peer pressure in a positive way. If peer pressure can cause kids to make bad decisions, we can also use it to make them make good decisions. So the idea behind it is to have these kids go back and mentor to their peers, because that's a very effective tool. Kids pay attention to what the other kids in the schools do. So we participate in a variety of different activities that are designed to reduce underage drinking, to change the perceptions about underage drinking, because a lot of people think it's not drugs, so it's okay. But that's not true. There's actually some science behind the reason why you can't drink before you're 21. It causes damage to your brain. So that's what our group is all about. And Abby came with us today. I'll let you introduce yourself so I won't talk over you. There's a good chance that I may.
So I'm Abby, and I'm a sophomore at Southern, and I really just wanted to get involved in this group because I've watched so many of my friends turn to alcohol and drugs and cigarettes and all this stuff to try and say that it's not as bad as it could be, but it really is making them addicted, and it's not healthy for us as a future of society.
So just to kind of tie all this together with some of the experiences that I've had, I met you before I became a school resource officer, but we really started working together whenever I was working in the schools of Madison County as a school resource officer. So when I was working in the schools, and I don't know if even you know this, I worked a lot with the middle schools. And so we had middle school kids or middle school students that were trying alcohol at that age. And so for you to say things like that and talk about being addicted, and you're only a sophomore, that should really bring it home about some of the things that we need to take serious. And so that's part of the reason that we've got you all here today, and I appreciate you coming. So have you enjoyed the organization so far?
Yes, I think we've been very successful in what we have tried to do, including the sticker shock, and we did a roll call briefing trying to tell local law enforcement about kind of the problems that are facing youth right now.
And so for us as law enforcement, it's a challenge sometimes in how to handle with juveniles and what to do with juvenile law. And I know that there's always updates. Frankfurt is always working towards trying to better things. Sometimes we fix things, sometimes we don't. But because with juveniles, it's always a challenge because of confidentiality and the things that we go through. So hold that thought on sticker shock. Don't give everybody too much information just yet, because I want you to really hit that one hard, because that's another one that's, I assume it's coming up again, like always. So
yes.
We'll talk about that again. But I appreciate all the work that you all are doing with this, and and I'm going to here towards the end, I'm going to get you all to tell people how they can get involved, maybe how that how people can help if there is financial that they can do something like
Yes.
that. Organization, I'm sure we can
Yes,
always do that.
We're always needing money.
Sure. Well, but for right now, we're going to take a break, and we're going to take a short, probably 2-minute break-ish to give some people a chance, and maybe the next segment they can jump on with us. But as always, we're at the WBON studios in Richmond, Kentucky, and my name is Lieutenant Josh Hale for the Richmond Police Department. And we are back with our second segment of Beyond the Call today. It is November 30th, and we were just discussing how it's a Friday, and we're happy it's a Friday. I got to give you an apology, those that may have watched the first segment, or you may catch the first segment. You may be a little sideways. So today was the first time that we went live on Facebook, and we're working through the kinks on things also. So we're working out any technical issues, but hopefully you're back with us and you can join us. With me today, I have Jennifer Webb and also have Abby Sheffer from Youth in Action. Welcome back for the second segment live.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we were just discussing before we left that some of the goals that Youth in Action has and some of the things that they want to discuss with you all.
Yeah, I think Abby's going to talk about our mission.
Yeah, our mission really is to reduce underage drinking, and basically we are trying to do that by targeting the social and retail availability of alcohol and by supporting our law enforcement for enforcing these underage drinking laws. And we're just trying to raise awareness overall about underage drinking.
And back in the spring, we did, when you talked about supporting law enforcement, we did roll call briefings, and you were able to go with us, talk about what we did whenever we went to we went to all of the law enforcement agencies in Madison County. It was a long day, but people were happy to see us coming.
So basically, a roll call briefing is when the law enforcement officers are all there and we come and we thank them first for what they're doing for us. And then we kind of give them a little more information on what the more current trends are and what teens are doing. Like vapes are very big right now, and new social media things that are happening, so that law enforcement know what to look out for.
Well, and that's always a challenge, even as I just got done telling you, even with Facebook right now, Facebook Live, we deal with challenges even in the adult world with doing all this. So just as soon as adults learn a new technology, the youth generation is catching up and coming on with something new. That's why a lot of times you'll see less, fewer people on platforms such as, Facebook and Twitter and all these other social media, because the youth are moving on to something else like Snapchat or Instagram or other things like that. Am I right?
Yeah.
So,
Honestly.
and I could say that there's probably a few more that you all participate in. So I guess one thing that I would ask is how can, law enforcement and Youth in Action are partnered very well with each other, and obviously we have that good relationship. How can your community get involved with Youth in Action to help you?
Well, we really just want to raise more awareness, and I think that if more people were concerned with it, like more people kind of write it off as just normal and this is what high school is supposed to be like, but it doesn't have to be that. Like, we can make a better future for us.
And kids that want to participate, we have a Facebook page and we have an Instagram page. You can always contact me through those social media platforms. My phone number is 859-302-4132.
Okay.
You can send me a text. But primarily, I have a lot of people contact me through Facebook for whatever reason when they're interested in joining our events. And we do have a couple of events coming up. We just got through presenting Law Enforcement Appreciation Awards to Richmond Police Department, actually Officer of the Year Awards. And you, Lieutenant Hale, you were one of the recipients.
I was. Thank you very
Hero
much.
Award. And that's when we asked the community to send us nominations for Officer of the Year, and it's based on the criteria of community service and primarily towards underage drinking prevention or any type of youth interaction. So we had a lot of good nominations this year. The recipient from Richmond Police Department was the Assistant Chief Rodney Richardson. So we'll be going to Berea Police Department and the state police, and we presented EKUs, and then we're also going to go to the Madison County Sheriff's Department. Each agency will have an Officer of the Year, and then we have one overall winner. And we're not going to tell you which agency they're from, but we're really excited about being able to present this. We go in front of each agency's governing body, so that's why we were at the Richmond City Commission, because we want to do that at a venue that's publicized, and those meetings are televised, so the community can see the good work that you guys are doing, and they can know that there is a group in Madison County that's working toward prevention. Prevention is the key. If we don't do drug and alcohol prevention, then drug addiction, our numbers are just going to keep getting worse. Overdoses are going to keep getting worse. So the key is prevention, and that's what we do. The other event that we've got coming up is Sticker Shock, and Abby, I'll let you talk about Sticker Shock.
So basically, Sticker Shock is when we take quite a few of the members of Youth in Action, and we take some of these stickers and we actually place them on cases of alcohol, and it's kind of a way to show people that it is a misdemeanor to provide minors with alcohol, and it's just another way to let people know so that it's not something forgotten.
So whenever we do Sticker Shock, we have to follow a set of rules, and one of those rules is that we have to have uniformed police officers with us, because minors are typically not allowed to go into liquor stores. So the look on the customers' faces is usually priceless whenever they see police walking in with this big entourage of kids. They have no idea what's going on. But we do have to have a uniformed law officer with us whenever we do these. We always get permission from the liquor store owners before we come in to their business. And we've had a lot of good support here in Madison County. There's a lot of retailers that will allow us to come in. We'd still like to do places like Kroger let us come in once. And then there's the other couple of stores that we'd like to go into that they haven't quite gotten comfortable with the idea of us being there. But it's just responsible business when they allow us to come in here and put these warning labels on cases of beer. It's just a reminder that you can't provide alcohol to a minor. There's an Attorney General's opinion that says that kids, whenever we go into the liquor stores for this purpose, they can move the alcohol around just for this purpose, to put stickers on the alcohol. I don't know, there was some controversy several years ago, and it ended up the Attorney General had to write an opinion about it. My personal preference as a youth coordinator, I don't allow the kids to do that, even though the Attorney General said that it's okay. I ask the police officers to do that whenever the kids need things moved around, because I just don't think it looks good for the kids to be picking it up and moving it around the store. I don't let the kids take pictures in the stores. People are just not comfortable, but kids are always got their phones out, and they like, it's a social event, so we don't do pictures in the store. The other rule is that we can't put this over the Surgeon General's label.
The warning.
Mm-hmm. And we can't put it over the logo.
Okay.
So since 2006, when we started doing Sticker Shock, we distributed over 100,000 stickers. And that's one of the reasons why we were named Drug Prevention Group of the Year. We received that again this year. This is our second year receiving that award, because we have so much support in the community, and we have been able to get funding to buy these stickers and to put them on cases of beer. So we obviously want to continue doing that. These stickers aren't cheap though. So we're always looking for funding if anyone wants to provide private funding for that. And the other reason why it's important, these labels, is statistically, kids report that their first drink of alcohol comes from their own home. And we just want to educate parents that, if they have alcohol, lock it up. Talk to your kids about alcohol, about why, we're not suggesting that parents shouldn't have a drink or shouldn't be responsible. We're just saying that kids who are under 21 shouldn't have access to it, because they're always curious. They always want, and especially if they have friends over, then there's always a dare, or, I dare you to take a drink of that. So that's part of the reason why we do the sticker shock campaign. And it's always very well received in the community. We've actually had news channels come and report on it. So we're excited about doing it again. We will do it between Christmas and New Year's, because that is a time where a lot of alcohol is sold. And I try not to wear out the liquor store owners, so we only do it once a year. We would like to do it. We've done it around Super Bowl. We've done it around 4th of July. We've done it on Labor Day. We've done it on Memorial Day. But again, I don't like having that, I don't like asking. I don't want to wear out a welcome, so we just do it once a year.
Okay. Well, I think it's a valiant program. I think it's a good program that the community should get behind. We're going to take a break, and then when we come back, we'll go over how people can get involved with Sticker Shock, maybe to get you the funding if you need it.
Yep.
And I'll kind of do one more little warning on what this little sticker says, and then we'll
Yes.
wrap up the rest of the program. So this is Beyond the Call with the Richmond Police Department, and we are at the WBON TV studios. We'll be back. Hello and welcome back to our November 30th final episode, or final segment of this episode of Beyond the Call with the Richmond Police Department and WBON TV. My guests today are Jennifer Webb and Abby Sheffer from Youth in Action, and we've had a pretty in-depth conversation about some of the things that Youth in Action does and how how the community is affected by it and what they do. We were just discussing on the last break, or on the break and then on the last segment, this little yellow sticker that people are going to start seeing. We have Sticker Shock coming up, and that's where the kids are going to go into some of the liquor stores and some of the alcohol stores and actually put these on cases of beer. Any liquor, or just the cases of beer?
Just cases of beer.
Okay.
Just cases of beer.
Well, what this is if you see this little yellow sticker, that means Madison County Youth in Action has been there. And so just to kind of give you an idea for what this is, I don't know if we can see it right there or not, but I'll read it to you. It's actually talking about the KRS, the Kentucky charge that you can get or you can receive for providing alcohol to a minor. So that's actually called unlawful transaction with a minor, or providing alcohol to a minor. It's a Class A misdemeanor, and it is you are eligible if you commit this offense for 90 days up to 1 year in jail and up to a $500 fine. So again, if you see these stickers all over the place, obviously this is some of our kids in Madison County that's doing this. So I think it's a fantastic program to remind people just how serious it is to provide alcohol to minors. And we don't want to get our kids addicted to anything. I know they're addicted to the cell phones, but that's a whole different conversation, isn't it? So, so if you see these stickers, that's what those are. So, but you have some other things on the table here, and I guess you're going to kind of ask for some
Abby's
funding.
going to talk about, this is one of our projects that we do. It's, we do alcohol or Alco Pops displays. I used to have one of the liquor stores in town gave me just a variety of Alco Pops and energy drinks. And over time, they bust, they explode, and they did that in my closet. Where I
bet that was fun.
It was fun to clean all those clothes that it exploded on. But so today we're limited on what we could bring. So I'm going to let Abby talk about what we do in those displays.
Well, one of the things is these are displayed as similar, and you can't even really tell from far away the difference. One's an energy drink and one is an alcoholic beverage. And in fact, this one is actually, what was it?
This has 12% alcohol per volume. So this is what they call a binge in a can. So basically, this is about the equivalent of 5 beers
In that one can.
in this one can.
Wow.
And they also call them cheerleader drinks. Cheerleader drinks because it's highly concentrated with fruity flavoring and sugar to mask the taste of alcohol.
So you're hiding just how much alcohol is really in it.
So then in the brightly colored cans, these are marketed to young people. And there's brand confusion. That's the similarity between the energy drink and the Alco Pop. A lot of times stores will put them next to each other in the cases. And I know from experience, several years ago, I went to one of the gas stations. I was on my way to work, and I was checking out, and the guy that waited on me said, "Well, you're starting out early, aren't you?" And I said, "Well, no, I go to work every day at 8 o'clock." And he said, "No, drinking." And I said, "No, I drink an energy drink every morning." He goes, "No, that has alcohol in it." So I didn't even know that I'd picked up a can that had alcohol in it. So that's one of the pieces of legislation around the country that has been proposed, that stores not be allowed to put these in the same cases. I will say that when I went to the liquor store to buy this today, they were not in the same case.
That's good. That's a good thing. Maybe we're moving forward.
Right. Several years ago, we also had our state senator draft a bill that would increase the tax on these Alco Pops, because right now they're not taxed properly. They're taxed as a malt beverage, and it died because that year tax on all alcohol had gone up, but these still weren't taxed properly. So that's something that the kids want to do. Now that there's been a few years that have passed since that particular piece of legislation. But at these events, we have a whole display of energy drinks and Alco Pops, and we invite the community to come up and see if they can tell the difference. There was one high school in Kentucky, it's not anywhere close to here, but one of our sister groups, I guess you could say, was doing one of these presentations at a school, and their school resource officer, somebody said it looked like he had this epiphany, and he went out and there was actually in their vending machine Alco Pops, because somebody didn't know the difference. This has been several years ago when these drinks kind of came on the scene. So we kind of point out the differences. This drink, this Alco Pop, it doesn't have nutritional facts on it. The FDA doesn't require them to have that. But an energy drink, and this is not the typical can that we would normally get to put side by side. We just when on our way here today, we just couldn't find the can that's the same size.
But I'm sitting right next to you. I mean, I can see it now. But even just sitting right next to you, it's hard to tell the difference.
Right.
And so,
Right.
and obviously, I can see on there on the bigger one which says contains alcohol. But if you hadn't pointed that out to me,
Yes.
I would have not known that
Yes.
earlier.
So schools have been, educated about these drinks so that they know what to watch for. Kids are drinking energy drinks. They probably shouldn't. That's a whole different segment. But at least they know the difference now. I would think most educators know the difference between what's an energy drink and what's an Alco Pop. The FDA several years ago also banned the alcoholic energy drink just because of the health consequences. It was like pressing the gas and the brake at the same time. You have a stimulant and a depressant, and you can't, just the two of those were causing kids to be admitted into hospitals for, various heart issues. And
It seems, if I remember straight, and I don't think I'm incorrect about this, I believe there were some fatalities over some of
There
these
were.
things. So some kids actually died from the overconsumption of these things. So,
There were.
the
the alcohol poisoning, just the alcohol poisoning alone, because
again, 5
one of
beers
these-
sitting right there.
Right. One of these to a girl Abby's size would potentially put her in the hospital because of the amount of alcohol that it contains.
So say no, okay? Just say no
she
on that
does.
one. Yeah.
She does.
Um,
It takes a lot for kids to stand up
Yeah,
Sure.
for something that they
It's hard.
believe in. It is hard.
definitely.
And so I think that I always try to look for opportunities to let them shine, to allow them to be rewarded, to try and put them in the spotlight, because they're making good decisions in front of their peers and trying to encourage them. And so this isn't an easy group, I guess, to beat, but if you believe in it, we want you to be a member. If this is something that's important to you. And there's a lot of kids that are affected by families that have, alcoholism, and some I know have been a little ashamed of it. It's hard for them. But some feel empowered whenever they're doing something. And I encourage anybody who's passionate about this issue to contact me, because you not only are helping the community, helping your peers, you can get community service credit hours for this. The high schools require it, and this is an approved community service to do anything within our group, as long as it occurs outside school hours.
Sure. Well, before we get into the posters, I want to see those too. Abby, so this is your organization here, and you probably are live for about 10,000 people right now on our Facebook thing here. So if you want to give a little PSA to the organization, invite people, how can they join you in this fight against alcohol and drugs?
Well, definitely the best way is to try and contact Jennifer and try and see when we're doing an event and come out. Or you can talk to anybody at your school that is participating in it, and we will definitely make sure to give you all of the information, because we do want as many people as possible, because it is so important.
Any of the school resource officers, I believe, all of the school resource officers are familiar with what we do. They know how to get in touch with me. They work alongside us, so
Sure.
you're a part of our group too. So anybody who wants to join, you can talk to a school resource officer. We work really close with the resource centers within the schools. They actually recruit volunteers for us, and they help us out a lot. So any kid who wants to join, you can go and talk to your community resource center directors, and they know how to find us. We'd love to have anybody who wants to join. Always welcome new members.
All right. Well, hold up one of your posters there. Let's see some of the posters here. And I guess I know a little bit about these posters. I've seen them before. So these are the posters that hang up in the schools that you have a lot of kids and some school resource officers and some other people that are involved with the community that are on these posters.
Yes, and actually you're familiar because you were one of our models one year.
I can't believe you picked me. You could have found somebody else, but I did do it. Yes, that
Yes,
was. I did
yes.
not mind a bit to help you all out.
So this is kind of based on the premise that from an early age, kids treat athletes as heroes. NFL stars, NBA, Kentucky Wildcats, John Calipari is, he's a role model,
He is.
all of these athletes. And we find too that within the schools, the athletes are role models whether they want to be or not. So this campaign is called Stay in the Game, and I hire photographers, professional photographers, who capture images that are not your typical sports still photography. This was one that was taken last year, an action shot of Bailey Vanover,
Who's now in college.
who's now in
yes,
college.
Yes,
She's now
yeah.
playing at Berea College. She's playing basketball and soccer. And also this one was on our favorites. So we put these in all of the high schools. We put them in all of the elementary schools, all of the middle schools. We even asked businesses if they'd like to display them. We even have a few of our liquor stores that display these. They're happy to display them because we have some responsible business store owners.
Well, good.
Or alcohol retailers, because they know that when they sell alcohol to minors, that and if they get caught, then there's a fine. And they
Or worse, yeah, for them.
potentially lose their license. So there's a good incentive for them to partner with us, and I'm glad that we have so many retailers in our community that see that, because they do. The ABC does conduct.
They do. They stop in frequently to those locations.
They do. They have underage kids go in and buy or attempt to buy without an ID, and the rule is that the ABC officer is in the store with them, so that to monitor. But since we've been doing Youth in Action, since we've been doing this program, sales to minors have decreased.
That's good. That's a good thing. That means we're winning
Reported,
with
yes.
this.
And our KIP surveys that they do every other year has shown a decrease in alcohol usage among minors. And I want to say that this is partly due to the work of these kids that are willing to kind of stick their neck out and stand up for something that they believe in. And also, our schools are so good about allowing the police departments to come in and do drug prevention programming. There's Ghost Out that we've assisted with. The health fairs that we've been asked to come to. I don't think we've ever been turned away when we go to a school and say, we have this program that's designed to prevent drinking and drug use. We've never been turned away because they realize the importance of it. So I'm really happy about that aspect of the support that we get in the community. Our school leaders are supportive of what we do.
They are.
So I got a little off topic there.
That's
We'll
all right.
talk about the posters.
That's all right.
But
Well,
it is an expensive campaign because we do hire professional photographers, and the printing is very expensive. These have PSAs on them. Like this one is my goal is to stop underage drinking. And then it has a statistic at the bottom. Youth who start drinking before the age of 15 are 5 times more likely to become alcoholics as adults.
that's pretty staggering.
That is pretty staggering.
Well, I tell you what, we'll if you are interested in helping out Youth in Action, and I'm grateful for you all coming today. I mean, this has been educational even for me, and I've worked with you all over the years. If you are interested in helping out Youth in Action, contact Jennifer Webb. Do you want to give them the phone number again?
859-302-4132. And then my email address is jenjenwebb@yahoo.com. That's Jen Webb.
Jen Webb.
Yeah,
Okay.
not Jen, Gin.
Not the alcohol gin.
No, not
Jen,
the
Jen.
alcohol
Jennifer.
gin, but Jen. Any of those way, or via social media, you can contact me, or through the police department.
Or you can get a hold of me and we'll talk.
Anyway, yeah. There's several ways.
Well, I want to thank you all for coming today. Your all's mission is obviously one that's very true, and it affects everybody in our community. Very briefly, just kind of give you an idea of what I'm doing. This is our wrap up that we do every episode. So this is directly for our community here. I'm kind of talking to you as we go forward with some of these upcoming events that we have going on. First things first, everybody knows that it's almost Christmas time, so we have the Christmas parade for the city of Richmond, and that is on December 7th. So that is next Friday night. And so that'll be downtown. So if you are trying to come downtown for anything other than the Christmas parade, you will get stuck. So we would hope you would join us to hang out with us. It'll be a fun event with lots of lights and things going on. So come down and check that out. The Richmond Police Department, and I'll probably do another video here in just a minute. And bless you, our video person behind the camera.
Yeah, bless you.
As we are moving forward with the holiday season, our third time of doing this, our third year doing this, we have our Feed the Families campaign. We have that with Walmart. We do that. Now, of course, we park a cruiser right there at Walmart. There's a big bin inside Walmart. If you want to go and donate food, they actually have the bags ready to go for you if you want to purchase them and then drop them in there, ready to go. All this food goes to God's outreach. So when that bin fills up, I will take all that and put it in the cruiser. And when the cruiser's filled up, I'll call for a truck from God's outreach and we'll do it all over again. So we're going to go all the way through the Christmas season, probably into the new year, because I think it's not just about Christmas. We want to start with next year too and start off on the right, on a strong way to help out our community. So there's that PSA. We want you to help out with that. Obviously, we've been talking about alcohol, so we want to encourage everybody, safe driving. We understand there's going to be a lot more people in the shopping centers, a lot more people out there traveling for the holidays. Don't drink and drive. Obviously, we want to encourage that.
And don't give it to your kids.
And definitely don't give it to your kids. But wear your seatbelt. Simple things like that. These are things that we are out writing tickets. We are out in force. We will be out doing traffic enforcement. So be prepared if you do see that. If you commit one of those violations, then just be prepared. Another thing that I want to tell you about. Obviously, we are live on Facebook. We're doing the best we can to wrap all this up for you. But it's very, very important as we come to you on Facebook and Twitter and some of the platforms that we have. If you have something that's going on that's an emergency, please do not contact us on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or any of these other programs or email us. If you have an emergency, please call 911. These Facebook, the social media platforms are monitored by us, but they are not monitored 24/7. So again, if you have an emergency, call 911. If you have a non-emergency, if you need a police officer, if you need to speak to anything non-emergency, you can call 859-624-4776. So 911, that'll get you any kind of emergency service you need here in Madison County, but the non-emergency number is 859-624-4776. So with that said, we look forward to hanging out with you again in December. That show will be coming up here pretty soon. We're working on some pretty neat guests coming up for next time, and then and January too. So I want to thank my guest again for coming here today. I hope you had fun being live on TV for the first time ever.
We want to thank you for everything that you do.
Well, thank you.
You do a lot for the community, and it doesn't go unnoticed. And we want to thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you very much. I'm a busy guy. I work with good people, so this is my kind of plug for them here. The reason we get to do this, obviously the chief allows me to do these things for the Richmond Police Department, but I want to thank WBON TV, and they have been here with me telling me to go and hurry up and get things moving, and they keep me on track this whole time. No, it's fine. But they are the people that help drive this engine too. So I want to thank WB TV Studios. As always, this is Beyond the Call with the Richmond Police Department. I'm Lieutenant Josh Hale. You guys have a great day. Thanks so much.